Hey everyone, welcome back to another chapter review for the Tower of God Urek Mazino side story. I'm Dennis and today we are diving deep into chapter 5, a chapter that starts with a flying ship, ends with a wrestling match and somehow still manages to cram in both a talking dog and position tests. We've officially boarded the next phase of Urek's journey, both figuratively and literally. Chapter 5 of the Urek Mazino side story kicks off with the arrival of a massive floating ship. This ship isn't just for transportation though, it's where the real tests begin. The tests to see if these regulars have what it takes to walk the same path as Jihad and the great warriors. But before our regulars can hop aboard, they are welcomed, or rather warned, by Rahab, the imposing floor test director. Rahab gives a ceremonial address to the 30 surviving regulars, telling them that those who pass the test will be officially recognized as true regulars. They will be allowed to walk the same path as Jihad and the 10 great family heads. Each regular receives a boarding ticket and there's an ominous rule attached to them. These tickets will be checked daily at noon. No ticket means you have to leave. This might sound simple, but if we consider last chapter's twist, where Princess Rani and the 2 other sacrificed regulars survived inside the goat, we know exactly what this rule implies. Those 3 don't have tickets, and that means they will need to take them from other regulars, probably by force. This adds a layer of tension. There are hidden hunters among the 30, and none of the other regulars even know they are being hunted yet. Once aboard the ship, the regulars are split into the 5 traditional tower positions: Fisherman, Spearbearer, Lightbearer, Scout and Wave Controller. Each class has a different instructor, and SIU uses this to introduce a handful of quirky and intimidating new rankers. Danjon, the muscular menace from earlier chapters, is now the instructor for the fisherman. Gisli, still quirky and still unpredictable, teaches the scouts. A guy named Frederick is the ranker in charge of the Lightbearers. Heidi, a pretty woman, oversees the Spearbearers. And Baskerville, yes, a literal talking dog, is the wave controller instructor. He is clearly a nod to the Hound of the Baskervilles, though ironically in the novel, Baskerville is the haunted family, not the dog itself, I think. It's been a while. This scene is hilarious, because nothing says Tower of God like receiving life and death instructions from a dog in a suit. Urek, Neo and the guy in the Guns N' Roses shirt are all placed in different positions. Urek is assigned as a fisherman, no surprise there, and Neo is positioned as a wave controller. And then there's the guy in the Guns N' Roses shirt, who still doesn't have a name. Seriously, we are 5 chapters in and I'm still calling him the guy in the Guns N' Roses shirt. SIU, please, just give the man a name, I'm begging you. Anyway, he's a spearbearer. And while we don't get to see what classes Evelyn and Lou were assigned to, that won't stop me from speculating. And with Evelyn being a member of the Lopobia family, I think it's fair to assume that she's a scout, as Gisli, the teacher for that position, is also an anima. Lou's placement is a bit trickier. He's inexperienced and lacks confidence, which makes him a poor fit for most combat heavy positions. That leaves Lightbearer as the most likely fit. It's a non-combat role in theory, but it still requires a cool head and strong decision making. So Lou's nervous energy might actually not be the best fit, but I don't know. Anyway, inside the fisherman training room, Danjon immediately reasserts his dominance. He tells his new students that the fisherman position is the strongest and that he won't tolerate any weaklings in it. To weed out the unworthy, he proposes a traditional Korean wrestling test. Sireum is how you pronounce it, I think. By using a belt called the satba, you win if you can throw your opponent to the ground without using anything other than the belt. Danjon easily demolishes one regular after another, no surprise there. But there's a moment we're focusing on. When a female regular gets picked on, Urek steps in. He calmly walks up to Danjon, puts on the satba belt and tells him, "Since you showed me the power of this tower, I will show you the power outside from it." And this is where the chapter ends. This chapter might not have pushed the plot forward in a big way, but the pacing shift feels intentional And honestly, it's a smart move from SRU. Taking a moment to reintroduce the 5 basic positions gives newer readers very essential context on how combat works in the tower. For longtime fans, it's a welcome return to a structure that hasn't gotten the spotlight it deserves in a while. One of the biggest critiques I had for Season 3 is that the sense of teamwork, the strategic coordination between positions, was often missing. It became more about individual power scaling and less about group dynamics. So if this side story uses these new teams to bring back that layered, position-based strategy, I'm all for it. It's an opportunity to recapture what made the tower's test system feel so unique in the first place.